Vortex.com will give you a deal on anything Vortex. The V3 bar in a wide range of bend is 29% stronger than the competition. They've got their laser cut steel Vortex racing sprockets. They've got the aluminum ones that the Star Yamaha guys use. Trusted by champions, Vortex racing components are made from aerospace grade billet aluminum to the tightest tolerances. Speaking of Vortex racing, this man has a Vortex racing sprocket on the back of his monster Star Yamaha YZ250, and we're welcoming on the show tonight. It's Colt Nichols. What's up, Colt? How are you, man?
Steve, how we doing?
We're good, man. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate
of course,
it.
Yeah.
So we had Nicoletti on earlier because he's on all the time because we love Phil, right? And he said, hey, you had Nichols on yet? And we're like, no, he's coming up. He's like, tell him I said hi. Tell him I didn't like him. I never liked him, but I hung out with him at Coop's bachelor party, and he's okay.
Now I like him.
Now I like him, yeah.
Hey, he literally told me that right off the rip. We had, I think, one night where we had a little bit of fun or whatever, and the next day he just comes up to me and he's like, Nichols, I'll be honest, I was never a fan. I hated you, but he was like, I actually think you're all right. And I was like, you know what, Phil, I appreciate the hell out of that, man. That's awesome.
But I think you're all right is all you're going to get out of him, right? Like, that's what you got to get out of him.
Yeah, it wasn't like you're awesome or anything. It was just like, you're all right. And I was like, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, no. Listen, Phil would look at the way you dress. He'd look at the earring. He'd look at the social stuff. And he's a New Yorker. And I could just see Phil being like, I hate Colt Nichols. Never having met you. Never knowing you.
Literally.
Totally, right? Totally.
The first words he said to me was like, I'm going to yank that fucking earring out as soon as we start to get drunk. I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh, man.
He was not feeling
well,
it.
He says hi. He likes you now. He says hi. So, yeah, we're all good there. Hey, so we were discussing this on one of my shows the other day. Was the number 13 bad luck, Colt? Is that where we're going with?
We took a risk and it didn't really work. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna claim it as bad luck. I guess I don't know.
I'm not. Well,
I'm not to.
Right.
I didn't want to believe in that, or anything. And to be honest with you, they gave me an option.
Yep.
They came to me and they were like, all right, your number is either going to be, I think it was 28 or 29 or something. I'm not real sure. And they're like, or you can do 13, but we just want to ask first. We don't want to put you there. And I was like, oh sure, like whatever. I thought about it for a day or so. I was like, I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll do it.
Right.
And it did not treat me well at all. So yeah, I guess so.
But we were I would have taken it. Like I would have been a guy that been like 13 is cool, man. It's almost like anytime close to the top 10 is an amazing number. But yeah, whether it was Tortelli or Swink or Jesse Nelson or whatever, we've seen RJ. We've seen guys have struggled with the 13. And again, I would have taken it. I'm not a superstitious guy. The number doesn't mean anything. But damn it, Colt.
No, and that's exactly the way I looked at it. I was like, the number doesn't mean anything. And some of the, like in any other cross sport, like some of my favorite players in any other kind of sports are number 13.
Yeah.
Football, basketball, like all the stuff. And so I'm going to give it a shot. Like maybe it'll work. And I only got to show it about 4 times.
Yeah.
So, I guess it was just bad luck for me. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But I feel like you're really coming in under the radar. I think people forget how good you were the previous year, and you didn't get to show it this year. But how you feeling? How's it going?
Actually good, man. We've done a different approach to an off season this year. Just stuff that I've been wanting to do for a while, and me and Swanee are kind of putting our heads together a little bit and kind of going about things actually quite a bit different than we ever have in an off season. So I'm really happy with all that. Taking a little bit, to get to a point where I feel like I'm happy with that kind of stuff, but we're definitely there now. And I love being in this position. A little, obviously, very under the radar, and got something to come in and hopefully surprise some people with. But no, dude, I feel good. It's been fun riding with my new teammates, with Malcolm and Christian, and Jay Coop's still hurt, so I haven't got to ride with him or anything. But it's been really fun riding with these two guys so far, and we're having a really solid off season. We're making a good progress, and it's fun, man.
Do you mean changing up some training stuff? Is that kind of what I'm getting at? You're doing different things off the bike? Yeah.
Yeah. It was just some stuff that I felt like we lacked a little bit at, and we, Swanee kind of was agreeing with me a little bit.
Yeah.
When it came to that kind of stuff, because it's stuff I kind of been poking around a little bit at before, and
okay.
But you pay a guy to train you, and you listen to what he says, and that's just what you do. So But then you get older, you get wiser, and you see things, you learn things. And, I've been doing this for a little bit now, and I kind of felt like I knew a little bit of what I needed, what I lacked at for my own body, not just for a group, that we're all in. So that made a big difference. So far, I think it's made the biggest difference in what I'm doing. So I'm happy with that stuff. It's slow and steady, but we're just kind of going day by day, and I've been enjoying it, man. It's been really, really fun. And having some new faces around is always kind of cool, too. Malcolm being a little more involved now since he was last year, but not to the extent he is now. Then having Christian there, it's been really good.
Yeah, watching Mookie go through the whoops every day must be pretty cool. Good God.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Well, him and Christian both. Like, if I'm going to try to learn how to be better there, it's, two of the best guys to watch. So I'm a very visual learner, so just having literally watching these guys right in front of me has been huge for me. And ride with them every day, and they're both really sick, so it definitely keeps me on my toes, and I got someone to chase or vice versa. So I think it's a really positive thing for me to bring those dudes into the program.
Colt Nichols on the show, brought to you by Vortex Racing. The bike that's on the sprocket that's on the back of the bike of Colt Nichols is Vortex Racing. Email Kyle at vortexracing.com to get a deal from those guys.
Hey, Colt Leach here. Is there a Florida component now to Star or Swanee's deal? I keep hearing this, but I don't know if it's true. I don't know if you can say it yet. What is happening there? Do you know? Or can you say?
That's a great question. I do know what's happening, but I don't know if I can say.
Okay. That's why we haven't heard yet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But, yeah, some different components of some stuff that could be happening for sure. But, yeah, I'm not sure where they are with that. Like,
well, listen.
Yeah, it seems like for a while I just heard something new every day, and then now something's set in stone. But like I said, I don't know if I can really say that.
Okay, that's fair.
If I'm a rider for Star Racing and they tell me you got to move to Florida, I'm like saying WTF. That's all I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm like, if I'm settled in California, if I got a house, if I'm like all settled and everything, I'm gonna go to Florida.
Like 30 other guys have done it.
Yeah, but I mean, just asking. I don't know.
Okay.
I think that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. That's all.
It'll be interesting for me because I just bought a house, so I'm like, well, shitty timing. That does happen, but
right.
That's the only way or reason why I would be like, whatever. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know exactly what they're fully planning on trying to do with us, but yeah, we'll see.
Dude, is the test like? So I was at Paris, and J Mart was there, and Dylan was there too. But Colt, J Mart passed me at fucking Mach 5 and dove inside of an inside rut like the little elf that he is, right? Like he doesn't, he's just so small. I could not believe the speed he was hitting the inside ruts at. I was like, this guy looks like he's never been away from a Yamaha ever. This was his second day of riding. And like, granted, 45B tubby guy like me, I'm not exactly the benchmark here for speed. But I couldn't believe how fucking fast he was going. It was insane.
Yeah, I've seen him a few times actually at the track. Now, I never saw him while we were riding outdoors and stuff, but I've rode Supercross with him a few times now, and I've never really actually got to talk to Jeremy that much.
Right.
Obviously I've raced him a handful of times, but never with teammates or anything like that, and we were just kind of chopping it up at the track the first day I was there, and he was like, yeah, I mean, the motor, I knew it was going to be sick, but, dude, I cannot believe how good the thing handles. Like, the chassis is incredible, and he just kept going on about how sick the chassis was. I'm just like, yeah, dude, I mean, yeah, it's sick. I don't know. I don't know. I love it,
Right.
But I was like, I'm not coming from a Geico Honda, so I don't really know, what the other side's like. But, yeah, I mean, the thing's incredible, obviously. So, yeah, he was pretty in awe.
I bet. And it sucks that still for 2021, Colt, Wilhon is still holding back your program. That sucks. That you still have that angle.
Yeah, no, it's a bummer for sure. He's holding me back everywhere, really. But we got this nice little friendly competition going on right now where he thinks he can beat me at a bicycle. So every day it's something new with Will. So that's what I've been dealing with, as you guys can imagine. But every single day it's something new about him beating me on a bicycle, and it won't happen. I won't let it happen.
Right? Yeah. No.
What was the weird deal at Redbud with you guys, where you guys decided to run a marathon or whatever the heck, and Will just ran a marathon from the track to the hotel?
He just does things like that every now and then. I don't get it. I really, really don't understand how he does it. But he's gnarly. Like, he's done so much cycling over the course of his career that he's got like a pretty gnarly base, and he's good on a bicycle. I mean, really good at running too, but he's really sick on a bicycle. So he's a tough one to beat. But I feel like I got him handled.
Dude, at Redbud, I think it was after the first Redbud. Yeah, I think it was between.
Yeah, that's when they said, yeah.
Yeah, he ran from the track to the hotel, And
Really?
as you know, they're not close.
No.
He ran a marathon.
No, ridiculous.
First of all, I'd be worried about getting mowed down in some of those roads.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I said too. That's
Right.
got to be sketchy.
Yeah, that's got to be sketchy. Like Big Nasty, just hammered on pickle juice, driving around Michigan, just cleaning Will off the shoulder, right? Like, I mean, come on, that's a real fear that everyone should have.
It is, man.
Right.
I wouldn't even mind it though. I miss Big Nasty. I haven't seen that dude or heard from him in a while.
I know, me neither.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Dad life's got him. Just dad life. That's it. He's dropped off the map.
I know. I know. I don't get no pickles no more. Nothing. So.
Right. Are you? Do you have any lingering effects from the Salt Lake City crash? Is everything healed up? You're fine, or do you have any stuff going on from that?
No, we're good there. It was just a weird injury, dude. Like I didn't really expect it to go the way it did, to be honest, because I just broke that first bone right there in my hand, underneath my knuckle, and it was a clean break. They were like, yeah, we're going to go in and put a plate and screws there, but It's such a small spot that it's kind of hard for it to heal, I guess, which I didn't really know it was going to be that bad, but I got the cast off like pretty quick. We started doing stuff, and it just wouldn't heal. It was really weird. So it ended up being like, it was supposed to be a 6 to 8 week injury, and it ended up being like 14 weeks. So I was like, all right, well, that kind of sucks. So that was the main reason why I missed, obviously, all the summer. It just took forever to heal, and I didn't really expect that. But
See,
now that we've been going, it's good. So.
See, yeah, because at Salt Lake City, when we all saw what happened, who was that? What happened? Who did you come together? Who'd you come together with? Why is it? I'm mind blanking on Sexton. Right. Remember at the end of the story?
Oh, the
right.
triple double
Yes,
into the
right.
90. Yeah.
So you came together with Sexton. I heard you broke your hand. Okay, like that sucks, but not a bad injury. And then honestly, I thought something else must have happened because it took so long for you to get back. Like I'm like, okay, wait, something must be more serious than they said at the track, But yeah.
Yeah, I really thought kind of the same thing because I immediately, like, once it happened, I got up.
Right.
And I rode around, obviously, and I tried to get on the gas, and it just wouldn't. Like, I can feel the bones moving, and I couldn't twist very good. So I was like, okay, something's obviously not right. I immediately went to the Alpine Star thing, saw it was broke, but the dude was like, yeah, dude, this is maybe 6-8 weeks. Like, you're going to be all right. And I was like, oh, perfect. Like, maybe I can actually still not only make outdoors, but maybe the whole series, possibly, if I could. So whenever we got back, had surgery, they took the cast off after 2 weeks. And so I was just in a splint. And I started using it, like, pretty good because Swanee was like, all right, well, if you're trying to race Loretta's, we're going to have to do some stuff, like probably stuff we shouldn't be doing, but it's going to be a little bit of stuff, and then we're just going to see if we can go do it. And I'm like, all right, perfect.
Yeah.
So I loaded my gear bag up, did all this stuff about a week, 2 weeks before Loretta's for a doctor's appointment. I had my gear bag in the back. And I go in there, and then I left with a cast again. Dude was pissed. So he was like, I can obviously tell you've been using this a lot, and it's not healing at all. You're going to have to go back in a cast. I'm like, fuck. So then that just, the whole thing was done.
Yeah, you're like,
it was all done after
did you fake like, what? I haven't done a thing. I haven't done anything.
Yeah, he was like, you haven't lifted anything over 5 pounds. I'm like, no.
No.
I don't know how that's happening. Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on.
That's bullshit.
I was doing quite a bit with it. Just trying to be prepared, but it did not work at all. So.
Right. I talked to a guy who was I talked to a guy who was at the track, I don't know, last week or the week before. He's like, it's like a fucking seated practice at Supercross right now at the Yamaha track. It's just insane. Yeah. Just
49 riders on the team.
Right. Yeah. Just because AP's back, right? AP is back?
Yeah. I mean, the 250 and 450 thing obviously being together now, it's just like the other day, Dylan and Jeremy were there, and they don't train with Swanee, but they were just there riding with us and stuff. And I was like, dude, holy shit! Like there is so many dudes. Like it's almost like even just at Yamaha, the amount of people that are riding there, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
And then especially when we show up to a public track and we got to take 19 vehicles and we take up the whole side of the road, I'm like,
yeah, really, right?
But it's been fun though. Yeah, it's been really fun. I'm enjoying it.
Colt Nichols on the Pulp MX Show, presented by Motorsport.com and Fly Racing, brought to you by Vortex Racing. Did you see Wilbur got engaged? Did you hear that?
No.
Weege, yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, man, I can't believe
it was really cool. I'm proud of him, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, he's really growing up, Wilbur, right before our eyes.
I know.
Jeez.
Well, you get your first girlfriend. That's the first thing you want to do.
Right. I think
gotta marry her.
I think he calls Faulkner for advice. I think he's been calling Faulkner hey, I got this chick. What do I do? I'm in love. She just seems like the one.
Oh, no.
God.
Oh no, Steve.
Listen, Faulkner's not coming on my show. It doesn't matter. I could, I mean, let's face it. Colt Nichols on the show.
Yeah,
here.
he probably said that. Yeah, marry her.
Yeah, marry her.
Yeah,
Yeah, just lock it up. Get a tattoo.
I did it.
Get a
Get a
tattoo
tat
on your
and a
finger
ring.
also immediately. Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
But I do like pretending that Colt isn't on the phone right now, which is hard to do. But pretending he's not on the phone, like
Yeah.
I think a lot of people forgot about him.
Dude, he won Anaheim 1.
But so like coming in, like I don't think coming into Houston,
We should do a quiz right now.
we should yeah.
Did Colt Nichols, did he or did he not win Anaheim 1?
Right. Did he have a red plate?
Yes, did he have a red plate? Yes.
For numerous weeks.
Over Adam Cianciarulo. Did he lead him in points?
Right.
Yeah, so a little under the radar, for sure.
I really feel like that. You've won before, you've had the red plate, and I just feel like for 21, because already, look, we had Christian on the show last week. Kiefer was in as my co-host, and Kiefer tells Christian that he's the man to beat, which I flew off the handle. Like, I like Christian, but he's won one race. He's not the man to beat. So I flew off the handle. I had to send Christian an apology text, which he understood. But I do think like nobody's thinking about Colt Nichols. I'm just like, hey everybody, like don't forget about this guy, right?
Yeah, do you like that though?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
I don't mind. I mean, I really don't. Like, it's one of those things where it's kind of just the way I've kind of been. Even at 19, I was very, very under the radar. So I think when I won the first race, everyone was kind of, I mean, obviously a little shook. And then I was able to string off some decent races after that. But I really don't mind being under the radar, that kind of thing. I mean, that's the way I've kind of been kind of forever. Like even last year where they were doing the polls for Supercross. They do that little prediction thing each week or whatever the hell it was.
No, that thing was that thing was so dumb.
Power ranking?
The power
ranking. It made me
ranking.
laugh.
It was so dumb.
Yeah, it made me laugh. But it's stuff like that where I know I'm not always going to be up there. Like, I'm not the most talked about kind of guy.
Right.
And that really doesn't bother me. I'm going about doing my business, doing my work, and kind of prefer it a little bit right now at the moment because I'm just busy, man. We're going day to day, taking it for what it is and trying to get better and trying to get stronger. And by the time we show up, I'm hoping I can do the same thing I did before and do it a little better, actually, and try to keep that thing all the way till the end and win a championship. That's all I'm focused on doing. I don't care about really anything else. I just want to try to go win this title and be done with it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. So, yeah, you've won the opener, so you've had the points lead before, and that's a new experience for whoever does it when it's your first shot at that. Is there anything you learned from that experience, like, oh, man, if I'm in that position again, I'm going to do something differently?
Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of like a little bit of like when you look back at it now kind of thing. And at the time I thought I was doing everything that I could. And, I think I was doing it the best way. But then I look back at some of those races and I'm just like, gosh, dang. I was kind of just riding, with a little bit of weight from it, I think. Just one of those things where you try to protect it more than try to extend it and do all this stuff. Because there's multiple races where I felt like I kind of threw it away a little bit. And if I would have rode the way I did before where I was kind of just going for broke pretty much, that maybe it would have ended a little different. But I definitely think that's the biggest thing. It's not necessarily taking it for granted and taking race for race and not having that in the back of your head like, because we would leave a few of the weekends and everybody on the team and even myself started to weigh on me a little bit as of like, well, you still got the points lead, or well, you still got the points lead. And I'm like, I mean, that's cool, but I wanted to make it bigger. Like, I don't really care about just having it for the next race. I want to make that lead bigger and then have it all the way to the end. Like it was just such a shock almost every weekend that I still had it, for most people. So I think just the approach, the way you look at it, the way you treat each race is, we're going to try to win every time, not just like we won once and let's see how far we can go with it. That was, I guess, maybe the attitude a little bit. So just taking it race for race and making sure we're charging all the way through and trying to win every race, not just the one.
Is your contract up this year? Is this the last year of your deal?
No, we have two more, so
okay.
This year and next year.
Yep. So, okay. So you're set for that way. Do you know east or west, or I guess it doesn't really matter now because we're going west to start, then it's going to east for Indy? What are we doing? Is that what we're doing?
I thought it was all
east to start all the way through.
East all to start?
Yeah.
Okay, and then
east.
west on Glendale?
Yeah, and Dallas.
Yeah, and Dallas. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do you know yet? Or no? Is this a massive state secret? Okay.
Yeah, they have said nothing about any of that. I think to any of us. So, I mean, last year or in 19, I didn't know I was going to race west till the weekend before. So, it was pretty last minute to do all that kind of stuff. So, I assume it'll probably be the same. So,
right.
Probably be pretty last minute.
I know this applies probably more to 450 guys who tend to have more bike setup issues because 450s are more sensitive. But I am worried. Okay, let's say you do race east, which would mean you'd race Houston. I think Salt Lake City, everybody was cool with staying in one place and not being able to go back home because it was late in the year. They had their bikes figured out. Are you worried? I'm going to ask every rider this. What if you go to the opener and you realize everything's messed up and now you cannot go back to the test track and you're just stuck with this for rounds 2 and 3? Are you worried about that?
I mean, not necessarily, just to the extent of, like, I think at this point, like, if you can ride something for so long, I mean, like, I've rode Supercross now for a few weeks now. You know, it's maybe our 3rd, 4th week. I don't even know how long I've been riding it, but I haven't made one change to the bike the whole time. I mean, we've made some bag stuff, maybe a click here and there, but I haven't, like, changed forks and shock or anything crazy. So I think for the most part, once I get to a point where I'm comfy, I mean, the same thing in 19, I never changed anything the whole time, all the way through the season. Just maybe some little clicker stuff here and there. But once you find a setup that's good, at that point, if I'm, like, struggling with something that bad, I'm starting to kind of turn and look at myself like, okay, what the hell am I doing? Because at the test track or everywhere else that I rode, it was fun, you know, and now all of a sudden I can't. Like, what? So more than likely, it's probably me doing something stupid and not necessarily the bike.
Lines are blown right now.
Colt Nichols is now my favorite rider ever. So wait, you wouldn't get off the bike and tell the team, like, oh, the bike's the problem and we got to fix the bike and it's the bike's an issue and all that? Wow. You'd actually look in the mirror and be like, hey, what do I got to do? Like, yeah, wow.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I do think that it's a little underrated at times, like, but I think it's mainly like a more of a base set.
Yeah.
Like, if people can't test and they struggle to get a base set down of what they know they like, that's where I think you run into serious problems. But whenever you have a base setting, and then you can do that, like I can go back and forth with the team, like, okay, I'm struggling a little bit here. Okay, maybe we'll change this or that or whatever. Maybe it's sag, maybe it's a few clicks, whatever.
Yep.
Then that's fine. But if I'm, like, going back and I'm, like, searching for a whole other fork or a whole other shock or whatever, then that's more than likely at that point it's probably on me. Like, I'd be like, oh, shit, like I'm probably doing something not right in order for me to feel that off.
Chad Reed is smashing his phone right now if he's listening to the show.
Oh yeah.
Well, for someone like him, he's very sensitive to that kind of stuff. You know, like he knows everything. And for me, like, I'm starting to finally get to a point now where I'm realizing how important the actual setup is as far as testing wise. And it was actually really nice because I got to test the Star 450 before any of these dudes rode it.
Oh yeah.
I was doing all the base testing for the engine and suspension, so I got to work with some really good suspension guys. Like, I was working with Brad with the engine a lot. And,
yep.
I was just learning so much. So then now when I was back on my 250, I was like, oh, okay, like, I actually get this now. You know, I realized how important this is because we went from one setting and then where we ended was so far completely different from where we started. I was like, wow, that's a huge difference. You know, like if I'm struggling that bad, we can get somewhere that's good because I've obviously done it now. So that was cool. That was good for me to learn that much, and now I'm applying that to the 250 stuff, and it's been pretty helpful for me. So
right. Oh no, it sounds good, man, for sure. Well, hey, thanks for coming on, Colt. I appreciate it. Good luck with everything. I wanted to catch up with you. It's been a while since we had you on, so I feel like people aren't really talking about you, and I wanted to see you about getting in. So good job. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no worries. All right, thanks, Colt.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Colt Nichols, everybody, brought to you by VortexRacing.com. Not many